I was all on time at earlier today and everything, and then all of a sudden, yeah, the whole world fell apart. So yeah, sorry for that. And good evening. So how many people have we got here? I see 11. Henry, Marty also. All right, so a good bunch of people over here. So yeah, I would have loved to have heard your introduction on who's doing what and what they do. So, but I'm pretty sure I'll get to that a little bit later on. So first of all, then I see Henry has started the
Ja, ja,
recording.
klopt.
Right, that's fine. That's fine. Let me just see. I want to share a screen. That's one. Just tell me when you can see the screen. Can you see my screen?
Ja, ja, ons sien hom.
Yes.
Hier,
The one
jy
that
sien
says
dit.
table of contents, or what?
Yes.
Which one are you seeing?
RAE, October
Oh, the email.
2026. That's right,
The email.
yes. Correct.
And now?
Still the same?
Oh, lovely. Lovely. Okay, let's just stop that one. Let's try again. Okay, share. And I wanted to share. Okay, let's go that way. Let's do it like that. Share the window. Okay, give me a window, that one. And now it should be, say, table of contents. Oops.
Yep.
Are you seeing the
That's
table of
right.
contents now?
Table of
All right.
contents.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Sorry for the confusion for a moment or six there. Running on a new environment, and as usual, things are slightly different. So please, I do have two big Labradors that might come in here to come and check up on who am I talking to now. So if they come and climb up all over me, that's what they do, you know. All right, so what are we going to be talking about tonight would be an overview of amateur radio, talk a little bit about communication with other amateurs, QSL cards, radios, electronic equipment, building antennas, public services, emergency communications, DXing, what it is, the expeditions, contests, satellite. There are a lot of things. And then, of course, also, we're going to start talking about operating procedures. Just a quick one. Does everybody have this manual? Anybody who do not have this manual? I know Marty is usually excellent in making sure that everybody's got manuals. So please, guys, do not hesitate to ask questions. This is a very informal session, and yes, so you're welcome to come off mute and ask me a question. I saw a thumbs up there from Stefan. Thank you, Stefan. So you guys have got all of that. All right. So then we're going to look at operating procedures, international regulations, HF phone, telegraphy, repeater, and so on and so on. And very important, keeping a log and exchanging of QSL cards. So let us start off. Amateur radio, of course, is a hobby that involves experimenting with radios and radio-related technologies, with the emphasis on experimenting. And the first thing I want to tell you is it is huge. All right. Tell me I have swapped screens around because I don't like to be talking to myself on the side view. So can you still see my screen?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's correct.
All right. Good stuff. So the one thing that you will find out pretty soon is that the hobby is wide, very, very, very wide. There are so many different aspects, and for each and every one of us, whatever your interest is, there's most likely somebody else out there that is playing with that what you are interested in. And a lot of times it's also about finding those other people, and there are loads and loads of different activities. There's literally space for everybody over there. And the idea about it is using a radio uh, to communicate with other amateurs is one of the foundations of the hobby. So most radio amateurs have got a radio station of their own, but yeah, not everybody stay in a place where it is conducive to or be able to put up their own station. So there could be shared stations as well. We could also put up temporary stations or field stations, as we call them. And stations can be from very simple to very elaborate. We, of course, when we talk about a transmitter and a receiver combined into one device, it's called a transceiver. In the earlier days of radio amateurs, the transmitters and the receivers used to be separate devices. Nowadays, they are single devices. And depending on the capabilities, you've got from small handheld devices similar to a mobile phone, some slightly bigger, some slightly smaller, to big boat anchors, as we jokingly refer to some of the other older equipment. Um, so they are huge, and there's a wide variety. There are a lot of different frequencies that we can operate on, and different radios have got different functionalities for these different frequencies. So as you can see, antennas makes a huge difference to how well a radio communication is going to be successful or not. So you can either have simple wire antennas, which is where most of us start off originally, or huge antenna farms with several tall towers and things like that. And there are many different modes as well. So the mode is basically how the information gets encoded onto this radio signal. And originally, we started off with a Morse code, or telegraphy also, as it's called, where the signal was just switched on and off, and continuous wave, or CW, still popular nowadays. There's still people who use that. We don't have to know CW to become a radio amateur nowadays, but later on, if you really want to, it is a possibility. Then, of course, there are phone modes, which is where you would be speaking using your voice, FM, frequency modulation, AM amplitude modulation, and SSB, single sideband, um, where normal human voice gets transmitted via radio and interpreted by ear. And then, of course, there are, I'm getting some feedback from somewhere. Wonder where it's coming from. William, is it possible you can just mute yourself there, please? Thank you, sir. Okay. The digital modes, frequency shift keying, phase shift keying. I'm not even going to go into all of them. There are loads and loads of them, even slow scan TV as well, and will allow the transmissions of text and pictures, very much like what the internet does as well. Now, you'll learn about it later on. Now, when we make a contact via a radio amateur with somebody else, we call it a QSO. And that's what can range from the briefest exchange of call signs lasting mere seconds to long conversations known as rag chews that can last many hours. Not everybody loves to chat for hours on the radio. Somebody just want to chase and see how many contacts they can make. They'll give you a short QSO. However, there are some others who really love to to chew the rag, as we call it. And yeah, so it's not like a phone system where you can contact a particular station on demand. If you want to speak to a particular person, then you've got to agree a time and a frequency where you'll meet. And also, well, this is known as a schedule or a sched for short, but it's also no guarantee that propagation will allow the stations to hear one another, which is part of the challenge in radio amateur. You'll find out that propagation is very, very variable, and that can cause communication to either work or not work. So typically what happens is people will speak to whoever is listening and can hear and is interested in a chat, meeting a lot of people around there. Then a QSL card will acknowledge a communication with another radio amateur. So if you've had a QSO, it is common courtesy to send a QSL card. All right. There are people who are very interested in building radio and electronics equipment, and you'll be meeting a couple of them as we go along as well. Others will purchase a kit and from plans and build stuff themselves. Today, microprocessors, digital signal processing is an increasingly important part of the hobby. So building equipment may also involve writing some microcontroller or DSP programming. Of course, those who don't enjoy electronics, you can still be purchased off the shelf there. Antennas, well, while a lot of radio amateurs find the complexity of modern transceivers to be beyond their construction capabilities, antennas are not that complicated. So most amateurs build at least some of their own antennas, and it can be very rewarding as very good results can be obtained from very simple designs. There are software packages that allows you to design and model the antenna performance and so on. Yeah, so antennas is something that a lot of people spend a lot of time on, and it really, I can tell you, there is very, few stuff more rewarding than being able to plan an antenna, getting all the bits and pieces together, putting it together, and then getting it on the air and hearing that first QSO from or somebody else coming back to you and talking to you through that antenna which you have built yourself. Now, public service and emergency communications. Radio amateurs have a proud history of making their skills and equipment available for public service and emergency communications. Many sporting events like rallies, marathons, cycle races, and so on, where they offer communication capabilities, keeping track of the competitors, making sure that everybody is safe and accounted for, and so on. Many amateurs also ensure that their radio stations have alternative power sources, such as batteries, generator, or solar power, so that even when the telephone and power systems go down, like for a natural disaster, for argument's sake, the amateur stations can still keep going. In South Africa, there's a group called Hamnet, a special interest group of the South African Radio League that coordinates the emergency communications. DXing is basically talking to different countries or different places over a longish distance. All right. There are many awards. The biggest one, they say, is the DXCC Century Club, which proved that you have had a communication with at least 100 different countries. Now, already more than 60,000 amateurs have earned DXCC, including almost 250 South Africans already. Worked all ZS is probably the easier and more quickly achievable one for contacting 100 stations in the various regions in South Africa. And, well, almost 900 of these have been issued. Jan has confirmed. Yeah, well, okay. I've only got ZS 300 because somewhere along the line I started logging more accurately. Islands on the air, worked all states for containing all 50 states in the USA. Yes, it's possible to reach the USA from here and to even work all 50 the different states there. Summits on the air. There are people that regularly go out. For argument's sake, this afternoon, there were some people up on Suikerbosrand to the south of Joburg, and a good couple of people have made contacts with them. All right. Worked all zones is another one. There are 40 CQ zones worldwide. It's a little bit more easier to work something like worked all ZS, but yeah. In the olden days, there were QSL postcards. Today, we use electronic QSLing, so awards from places like Logbook of the World, for instance. All right. In South Africa, we've got also our own QSL system, which is called SA QSL. Now, DXpeditions, because DXs are rare, there are always people on the lookout for countries, islands, mountains, provinces, whatever. And then these people go out there and they set up a station and they work from there. All right. Contesting. There are regular contests, and some amateurs are a lot more competitive than others who enjoy the challenge to contact as many stations, as different stations as possible. 24 hours, 48 hours, could be local, national, regional, international, from 10 to 5,000. There are many different contests out there. Satellite communications. Well, the amateur community have successfully launched over 100 small communication satellites for use of radio amateurs around the world. All right. There are even some people who bounce signals off the moon and talk to others elsewhere. And yeah, it's all for non-profit, all right? Maritime and off-road communications, increasingly turning to amateur radio for their communication needs. Thousands of small crafts like yachts make use of services provided by maritime nets, which pass on things like weather reports and crucial safety information, and even allowing mariners to access email and assist in the search for missing boats. Off-roaders who venture into uninhabited areas can also benefit from amateur communications between vehicles, also back to home base or whatever, to summon assistance in an emergency. Radar, well, abbreviation for Rapid Deployment Amateur Radio. It's a pastime worldwide, started off by a South African guy, and right here in South Africa, the idea is to have a transceiver, an antenna, and a power supply, head for the open spaces, set it up there, and run it for a short while, and then move on to another place. Radio amateurs obviously has significant privileges. We can transmit with significant amounts of power over a wide range of frequencies. In return, we have to abide by the guidelines and the rules to ensure that we do not interfere with other communications services. And this is very, very, very important. Amateur radio service governed by several international and local organizations. We talk about places like the ITU, ICASA, IARU, SARL, and you can all go and read up all about them over here and what they do and so on. ICASA, for instance, in South Africa is a Chapter 9 institution in terms of the South African Constitution, established in July 2000, while it's a follow-up from a previous one. It's also organ of state, and by the Bill of Rights, it is required to regulate broadcasting in the public interest. Some of its functions to licensed broadcasters, signal distributors, providers of telecommunication and postal services, even your mobile operators have to get a license from ICASA. They make the regulations, they impose the license conditions, they plan, assign, control, and enforce and manage the radio frequency spectrum. And if you mess up and you lose your license, you will never, ever get a license from them again. So be careful, all right? And they also investigate complaints and give the ultimate decision on complaints. There are other international organizations as well. The South African Radio League is a national amateur radio organization in South Africa and a founding member of the AIRU. Primary role is aligned with that of the AIRU for the protection and promotion of amateur radio and amateur satellite services in South Africa. Formed in 1929 and a non-profit organization, it's definitely valuable to be a member of the SARL. Membership is voluntary, and it's open to all who have an interest in radio communications. But this also gives you a voice in how amateur radio is governed in South Africa. And also the SARL regularly talks to ICASA and is in constant communication with them. So, yeah, we work together with ICASA and make sure that everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. All right. The SARL liaises with ICASA. So when they're registering for the RAE, which you are hopefully all going to do, all required documents must be submitted to the SARL together with a requested choice of a call sign. Then the SARL will register you with ICASA, and upon successful for the passing the exam, and then you will have the ability to operate with your call sign. Okay. The SARL does not issue license or call signs, but they do liaise with ICASA. All right. So you can read up there. Licensing requirements in South Africa. To operate an amateur radio license, you must have a license issued by ICASA. All right. When you are issued with a license, you're also given a unique call sign. Every amateur station has a call sign which is used to identify it on the air. Regulations require every transmission to be identified. So you will hear call signs, my own personal call sign, ZS6 Papa Juliet Hotel. You will, whenever I speak on the radio, I will always give my call sign and also the call sign of the person that I'm talking to. South African amateur call signs can start with Zulu Romeo, Zulu Sierra, Zulu Tango, or Zulu Uniform. followed by a single digit indicating the region of the country. For instance, 6 is for Gauteng, or the old Transvaal province as we used to know it. 1 is for the Cape province, Western Cape actually. 2 is for the Eastern Cape. 4 is for Bloemfontein, Orange Free State. 5 is for KwaZulu-Natal. Now, there are 2 different license classes. The Class A license, which is the one that's got full privileges on all frequency bands, and this is what we are aiming for you all to obtain, a Class A license. 25 years ago, there was a difference between a ZR and ZS licenses, but nowadays they are the same. To obtain a Class A license, you must pass the full RAE examination, and you must also demonstrate the ability to install and operate amateur radio equipment intended for the high frequency, or as we call it, the HF bands. This manual will provide the study material, and then once you pass this, you'll have a Class A license. Now, important to note, the South African Class A license is also recognized internationally under the CEPT agreement as a CEPT Class 1 license. CEPT is a European organization, but several other countries are also signatories. So you can operate, a South African Class A license holder can operate from any country that supports CEPT with very simple paperwork. Take note, not no paperwork, but relatively simple paperwork. Countries covered include most of the European Union, the USA, Canada, Israel, Australia, New Zealand. All right. Class B, anybody over here that's going to attempt a Class B license? I'm not seeing anything. So everybody Class A. All right, awesome. Code of conduct is pretty important, and remember, amateur radio is inherently self-regulated. We must regulate our behavior through self-discipline and peer pressure. The International Code of Conduct goes a long way towards explaining what constitutes good behavior. The amateur is always considerate. He never knowingly uses the air in such a way to lessen the pleasure of other people. The amateur is loyal. He offers his loyalty, encouragement, and support to his fellow radio amateurs, his club, and to the South African Radio League, through which amateur radio is represented. The amateur is progressive. He keeps his station abreast of science. It is well built and efficient. His operating practice is above approach. The amateur is friendly, slow and patient sending when requested, friendly advice and counsel to the beginners, kindly assistance, cooperations, and consideration for the interest of others. These are the marks of true amateur spirit. Amateur is balanced. Remember, radio is his hobby. He will never allow it to interfere with any of the duties he owes to his home, his job, his school, or his community. And the amateur is patriotic. His knowledge and his station are always ready for the service of his country and his community. You're going to hear this quite a few times, the Code of Conduct. There will be a lot of people referring to the Code of Conduct. So, yeah, please make sure you know what it says. Now, the examination, the RAE as we call it, or the Radio Amateur Examination, is a recognized representative body. It's responsible, SRL is responsible for administering the RAE on behalf of ICASA. The SRL provides training material, appoints invigilators, approves examination centers, marks the examinations, and issues relevant certificates such as the HAREC and a radio operator certificate to the candidate, but not the license. All right. The RAE is held twice a year on the third Saturday of May and October. There are two papers. The first paper, Amateur Radio in General, Operating Procedures, Regulations, 40 multiple choice questions. The second paper, Technical Matters, and consists of 60 multiple choice questions. To pass the examination, you must obtain a minimum of 50 for each paper and an overall mark of 65. So if you pass one paper but fail the other, you can rewrite only the paper you failed at the next sitting. The combined papers must still achieve an overall pass mark of 65%. So it's not like the normal 30% that we've got from our schooling systems nowadays. It's a little bit more intense. There's also a practical examination, which is done through specially appointed assessors, and we'll make sure that you are ready to do that. This certificate is required by ICASA, everything all right. Restrictions on the use of amateur radio station. The radio spectrum regulation includes some restrictions on the use of amateur radio station. It's important that you understand these in the case that you find that you had planned to do with your amateur radio license is not permitted. May not be used for broadcasting. It's intended as a direct one-on-one and not as a community broadcasting services. May only transmit music under very special conditions. No products or services may be advertised on amateur radio. Now be careful there, all right? Amateur radio stations may not transmit messages for reward. It may not be used to transmit business messages that could be sent using public telecommunication service. It may not be used to transmit indecent, offensive, obscene, threatening, or racist comments. These are all very, very easy ways for you to lose your license because, believe it or not, ICASA does record almost all radio communication that takes place. Amateur radio stations may not use third-party traffic. So messages that originate from anyone other than the amateur who is operating the station, and then the big clause there, except during an emergency. All right. When somebody's life is in danger, or then the rules change a bit. So, couple of revisions questions here. Several local and international organizations. Okay, I'm not going to go through these questions now. We can do them at a later stage. What I want to check up are the operating procedures quickly. I see I'm running a little bit late.
Nee, ek dink jy's reg. Just let me just check out, because I think we've split the things up so that we don't have to rush through these chapters anymore.
So are only doing chapter 1 tonight?
Correct, yes.
Oh, awesome. Then we've got time. Oh, lovely, lovely. Thank you. All right. Now, sorry for this, but my questions have already been answered. Several local and international organizations govern amateur radio services. And we've spoken about this. And for amongst others over here, the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa and the International Amateur Radio Union. So that would be both B and C. So the next one, which organization allocates a radio spectrum and develops technical standards worldwide? That is the ITU. ICASA's function is to promulgate regulations, impose license conditions, ensure international and regional cooperation, and the correct one then there, of course, is all of them. South Africa falls under which ITU region? That is Region 1. The IARU is a worldwide federation of national amateur radio organizations. The SARL, yes, it is a founding member of the IARU, also a non-profit organization and an association of individual members. So D, all of the above. These are the types of questions that you'll get. So you'll see at this level, it is still just memory. You've got to read it and you've got to know it. The SARL is governed by some elected members, B, and volunteers. The SRL plays an advisory role, commenting on yes, they do. Tables new frequency and spectrum allocations, definitely not. That is ICASA. And advises on local and national building and planning regulations. Now, that is true. The RAE Class A license is held in May and October of each year. We've just finished off a couple of weeks ago a previous RAE, and we're now getting ready for the next one. The SARL administers the RAE on behalf of ICASA, who are the guys that are going to give us all the licenses. So the SARL prepares and publishes RAE training material applicable to operating procedures, yes. Technical theory and practice, yes. Practical radio setup, operations and assessment, yes. So the correct one there is all of the above. When a candidate passes the RAE, what is the SARL going to issue? Well, it's a HAREC. An ICASA license? No, that only comes from ICASA. But you will get a radio operator certificate. But both of them, the HAREC and the radio operator certificate license, are required before you can get an ICASA license. All right. Any questions from anybody? Henry, I think you can stop the recording.
Sorry, Pierre, I just got a comment quickly.
Yes, sure.
I'm just